Surely all of us have experienced the heartbreak of facing a separation. Some people choose to stay, trying to hold on to things that belong to the past, hoping that one day the feelings might return. But reality is much harsher. When someone decides to leave, the only thing we can hold on to are memories and a bit of stubbornness left behind, not love. Because when love is still there, who would willingly walk away? If you have ever tried to keep someone, you might have realized this. No matter how hard you try, how much you change or do everything to please them, in the end, all you receive is their departure. The effort to keep someone does not mean they will belong to you. Remember, if they are truly yours, no one can take them away. But if they are not, no matter how hard you try, you will not be able to keep them. And sometimes, the most magical thing happens when we courageously let go. When you focus on yourself, nurturing your confidence and independence, you will shine in a completely new way. This transformation may surprise them and make them realize your unique charm. Suddenly, the balance of power shifts in your favor, and they might be the one pursuing you. Because sometimes it is the distance that ignites the most intense desires and longings. Today, we will explore the profound principles of Stoic philosophy, learn how to apply them to become more attractive, and decode this intriguing paradox. But before embarking on this inspiring journey, let's affirm your inner strength by writing down the phrase, "I am strong." And don't forget to take a second to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next valuable content. Together, we will unleash the limitless potential within you and create a more fulfilling life. If you're trying to hold on to someone, the first thing I want to say to you is stop right now. In any relationship, from love to friendship, a lasting bond does not come from desperate attempts to keep someone around. Instead, it comes from a natural connection, understanding, and emotional depth. Trying too hard to make someone stay only diminishes your value in their eyes and may make them feel even more justified in their decision to leave. We often believe that by expressing intense feelings and constantly proving our presence, we can persuade someone to stay. But reality is far different from what we imagine. Relationships need time to grow and space for both sides to feel the worth of the other's presence. Give the other person a bit of space to truly recognize your absence, to understand what you have brought to their life. Without time to feel the emptiness, they will never realize that they need you. Do not make yourself an obvious choice, always available and willing to accept any condition, because when you do, you only devalue yourself. Human psychology is fascinating in that people often come back not because you loved them too much or forgave them too much, but because they fear losing you, someone whose importance they only realize when you are no longer around. In fact, absence and distance are crucial elements for the other person to see your value. This is not a tactic or a psychological game, but a natural truth in the way people perceive each other's worth. Just like when you hold something in your hand all day long, you will never recognize its importance until it is gone. Let's take a simple example. You may have experienced a relationship where you loved someone so much that you couldn't bear the thought of them leaving. You tried everything, from changing yourself to fit them, to sacrificing everything you had to keep the relationship going. You send hundreds of messages every day, call constantly, just to make sure they are still thinking about you, that they still have feelings for you. But in the end, you realize that all this only makes them want to stay away from you even more. They feel pressured, suffocated, and ultimately bored. This is when you should stop and reevaluate everything. According to Stoic philosophy, We cannot control the actions of others. We can only control our own actions and thoughts. This philosophy teaches us that inner peace should not depend on things beyond our control, like the emotions or decisions of others. Instead of trying to change the unchangeable, focus on improving yourself, maintaining calmness, and accepting what is inevitable. Apply this philosophy to your relationship. When someone wants to leave, do not try to hold them back. Remember that true love should never be forced. If they truly care and love you, they will realize it when you are not around. And if they don't come back, that's also when you learn to let go. Accept that not everyone is worth holding on to. This does not mean that you have to give up hope or stop loving. On the contrary, love yourself more, understand your own value, and know that you deserve better things. Stoicism advises us to face the truth calmly, to welcome everything with a steady mind. Life does not always unfold the way we want, but we always have the choice of how we face those things. Allow others the time and space to feel your absence. This not only helps them realize your worth, but also helps you become stronger, more independent, and more confident in your own value. Do not lose yourself just because you want to keep someone. Because if someone truly belongs to you, they will come back. And if not, you will already be ready to embrace new opportunities in your life. Many of us have experienced moments of deep sorrow and regret, believing that loving with all our heart and being endlessly forgiving would bring us happiness. But ask yourself how many people have truly found happiness by loving in this way. Is it not true that those who find joy and peace in love are often the ones who know when to hold on and when to let go, who understand their own worth and are willing to give their love to those who truly deserve it? Love is not a race, and no one should feel compelled to sacrifice their self-respect just because someone once loved them. Let's consider a different approach. Sometimes stopping the love, the care, the longing, the attempts to hold on, is the best way to make them realize your importance. Take the example of Emily, a friend of mine. Emily loved a man deeply, to the point where she was willing to sacrifice everything, doing whatever she could to keep him around. But the more she tried, the more distant and cold he became. After seeking advice, Emily decided to stop. She stopped calling, stopped texting, stopped trying to explain or hold on. At first he felt relieved, but then he began to feel the emptiness, the lack of attention, and the absence of Emily's presence. That time apart allowed him to reflect and realize what he had lost. He came back, not because Emily did everything to keep him, but because he was genuinely afraid of losing her. This brings us to a crucial lesson from Stoic philosophy. The highest form of holding on is letting go. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control the actions of others. We can only control our own actions and thoughts. By trying too hard, you become predictable and eventually tiresome in the eyes of others. Love requires a balance between giving and receiving, between freedom and commitment, between emotion and reason. When you cling too tightly, you're likely to drive the other person away rather than bring them closer. Stop being overly forgiving. Forgiveness is a beautiful virtue, but it is not the key to every situation, especially when someone has already decided to leave you. A genuine relationship is when both people realize they come together to bring value to each other's lives, not because this is my partner and I must hold on to them at all costs. If you do not choose to take control of your love life, if you do not know how to attract and show your true value, you will always be led by your emotions and the other person's actions. Think of yourself as a precious gem. Only those who truly appreciate your value deserve to have you. Do not let yourself be swept away by the currents of neediness and dependence. What you should pursue is not a specific man or woman, but your own true worth and attractiveness. When you shine with your own authentic self, you will attract the right and worthy people. Take another example, the story of Robert, a young man who constantly felt the need to do everything to please his partner. He believed that if he just loved enough, sacrificed enough, he would find happiness. But the reality was that his girlfriend grew more distant, less interested. It seemed that his efforts only made her feel overwhelmed and want to escape. After many arguments and much pain, Robert realized he had lost himself in trying to please someone else. He decided to change, to focus on his work, his friends, his family, and most importantly, to take better care of himself. As a result, not only did his girlfriend come back, but Robert also realized his own value, that he deserved better. Through his journey of change and self-improvement, Robert understood that happiness does not come from loving too much, but from loving in the right way. Never naively think that loving more will bring happiness. Love wisely and responsibly, not just for others, but also for yourself. We need to understand that love is not about blind sacrifice or an act of stubbornness. It requires balance, mutual respect, and personal dignity. When you know how to preserve your own value, not letting yourself be caught up in dependency or driven by negative emotions, you will create a healthy relationship that is worth cherishing. Learn to let go when necessary. Understand when to stop. Do not let yourself become someone who loses everything just to keep someone who no longer wants to stay. Those who are happy in love are often those who know when to hold on, when to let go, who know who they are and what they are worth. They do not fear loss, because they know that what truly belongs to them will naturally return, and what does not belong to them will make way for something better. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our attitudes and reactions. In love, this means not letting someone else's emotions dictate your peace. Do not allow the actions or words of others to diminish your confidence and self-worth. Instead, live as if nothing can disturb you, not because you are indifferent, but because you know how to protect your soul from things that are unworthy. Start by accepting that you cannot change someone else's feelings or decisions. In love, we often become so engrossed in pursuing someone, believing that if we just love more, sacrifice more, they will come back. But the truth is, not every love is reciprocated, and not everyone is worthy of your effort. Rather than tormenting yourself over not being able to control the other person's feelings, focus on loving yourself, improving yourself, and enhancing your own value. When you are confident, strong, and aware of your worth, you will attract someone who truly matches and appreciates you. Act as if nothing can bother you in love. This does not mean being indifferent or cold, but rather maintaining a calm and self-controlled spirit, even if the person you love does not return your feelings. Instead of worrying about whether or not the other person loves you, focus on doing things that make you happy, things that make you feel better about yourself. You can spend time on hobbies, relationships with friends and family, things that bring you joy and satisfaction. In love, sometimes silence and distance are the best things you can do. Do not try to hold on to someone who no longer wants to be with you. Instead of trying to please them, give them time to realize the value of your presence. If they truly love and need you, they will recognize it when you are not around. If they do not, then perhaps you deserve a better love, someone who knows how to appreciate you. Remember, you do not have to sacrifice your self-respect or peace to keep someone. Do not let love become a burden or a battle you have to win. Instead, Let love be a part of life, something that brings joy and connection. If someone cannot see your worth, be strong and walk away. Act as if nothing can disturb you, because someone worthy will never make you question your value. Ultimately, remember that you have the power to choose how you love and how you live. You can choose to love negatively, constantly tormenting yourself over trivial matters, or you can choose to love positively, focusing on what is beautiful and meaningful. Choose to be someone who does not let love disturb you, who does not let anyone or anything take away your peace and true happiness. In doing so, you will discover a stronger and freer version of yourself, a version that knows how to love yourself, knows what you want, and knows what you deserve. Love may not always be perfect, but how you face it is what truly matters. Let each day be a day where you live with an open heart, but also with clarity, ready to embrace what is good and let go of what is not. That is how you love wisely and find true happiness.